Hi everyone, Jonathan here. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you are coming back from watching the other videos, I really appreciate it. I am a cartoonist and an illustrator and an educator, and I'm here with my friends from Create More Fear Less, and I'm making this video series that is about these drawing exercises that really focus on playfulness in our drawings, getting away from being perfect, and also just kind of teaching about the process of making art, because it really is a process. And so this is the 7th video, and if you are coming back, you'll know that we always do and if you're, I guess if you're joining us for the first time, you'll learn that we always do every session with a worry release exercise. And what that is we are going to try to take the worry and the anxiety that we're kind of carrying with us, and we're going to try to take it and put it out into the world. So we don't have to carry it around, just as a reminder that we have control over our worries, and not the other way around. So I usually just take, I've been using these sticky notes. You can use anything you want, really. And so take like a piece of paper, sticky note, something to write on, something to write with, and let's take a breath and think about our day, last couple days, the week. What is something that you have been worrying about? All right, but something, it doesn't have to be something, maybe it's just something that not necessarily a worry, but that you've just been carrying with you. And let's go ahead and write it down. All right. And once you have it written down, you can now decide what to do with it. This is out in the world. Like we have said in the past, I keep doing this every single time, is I fold it up immediately, habitually. But something I always like to say is, if you want to share, that's great. Sometimes that's another really great way to just sort of kind of relieve the pressure of a worry. You can share it with a friend, family members, even if we're on video, if you want to share with me, I can't listen, but even sometimes, just knowing that it's out there, that you spoke it, kind of makes it more real and makes it, there's less pressure. So I'm going to share with you. I've been stressing out about work lately, and I think I had this worry before, but it's just, there's just a lot of things coming at once, and it's hard for me to juggle. So, but anyhow, so once you have it, you can decide what you want to do with it. I shared, maybe you shared. I'm also going to fold it up, which is why I habitually do that all the time. And I am going to fold it up, and I have this little worry folder or envelope. It's getting pretty big, and I put all my worries from the last, sessions that we've done, and I've been keeping them in here, so that when I get done with these videos that I'm making for you folks, I'm going to go through and look at all these worries and see if I'm still worrying about some of them, if some of them I'm not even thinking about or forgot about, and it's just a nice way kind of to reflect. So we'll go and set this aside, and so we'll jump into the exercise. So the exercise today is kind of it's kind of a companion exercise or project to the last one, and I know the last one was kind of long, but the last one was about sort of the idea of planning for a project, and how I'll just, when I was younger and I thought that people made, like, say, comics or graphic novel, because that's what I do, I thought they just sat down and made the thing. But what I learned as I kind of went through college and also became a cartoonist myself is that there's so much work involved, that you build up, build up, build up, build up, and so by the time the final thing comes around, there's actually all this unseen work that goes into it, because it really is a process. And so something perfect doesn't just happen, it's something that you build up to. All right. And it's a lot of work and a lot of practice. And so what we did last time is we kind of just took the session, the exercise time, to come up with the project that we wanted to make. And we thought about, the theme was, the prompt was happiness. So you could, that was just to get your brain going, and so, but you could really do what you want. And then we ended up making, like, this was my sort of brainstorm. Decided I wanted to do a journal comic, and I did some rough sketches of what I wanted it to look like. I kind of wrote it out. All right. If you are joining us just for this exercise, you don't have to have done that other project, because this is kind of, even though they're related, they can be done separately. So don't worry about it. And you can always go back if you want to do the other one. You can always go back and watch that video. Okay. But this one, what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about how even if we have our brainstorm and we're ready to go, it's not necessarily, that's not it. We still don't just jump into it. All right. A lot of the times when you're doing a drawing, or a painting, or anything, there are steps that build up to it. All right. And so what I wanted to do is just go over because I do comics, and so this is kind of related to that, but you could apply it to lots of different things. Just this idea of that you sort of, we're going to do an underdrawing and then a finished drawing, and then that's a way that we can still have a process in the creating, and not just in the brainstorming, but also in the creating. All right. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some paper, and then you're going to need like a light pencil. I'm going to use this blue pencil, but if you just have a regular pencil and you want to draw lightly, that's okay. If you have a colored pencil, you want to make sure it's something you're going to be able to see. Whereas, like, see, this blue pencil is light and I can see it. But if I draw with this yellow pencil, it's a little bit harder to see. It's probably going to be even harder for you to see in the video. All right. So you want something, I mean, but maybe you can see the yellow, because I have trouble with colors anyway. So, but I'm going to use this blue pencil. And so the idea is that when we go to draw a finished drawing, we don't just jump straight to pen. I mean, we can, and I do that a lot. You've seen that, where I like doing that. But if I want to do something that's a little more refined, a little more polished, what I'll do is and so I would do this for like my comics pages or something. I would do an underdrawing or pencils. All right. And then, sorry, I kind of jumped ahead. Everyone, if you've watched these videos, you know I'm a little scatterbrained anyway. But then besides the light pencil and the paper, you're also going to need something dark. I recommend using something like a Sharpie. Or if you have something fancier, you could use like a brush pen, or even like just a regular pen. A ballpoint pen would work okay too. You could probably use like a crayon too, or even maybe like the darker colored pencils, but they're not going to work as well as something that is like ink, like a regular pen or a Sharpie or something. Okay, so sorry, let's rewind, and let's remember that so when I'm going to go to do a drawing, let's say I'm going to do a drawing of a character. Does anyone have a character that they want to give me? Did I hear someone say Batman? Okay, I'll draw Batman. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an underdrawing. And so what this lets me do is this lets me kind of pencil it out. And let's see, I haven't drawn Batman in a real long time, so we'll see if he looks any good. But you can see that it's letting me just sort of be looser with it, and it's okay if I mess up. Sorry, this is supposed to be like a gargoyle. It's not really. And so you can see, well, here, actually, let me finish and then I show you so I don't have to hold it up. I don't know, am I allowed to? I think I can draw Batman on a video and not get in trouble from Warner Brothers or DC Comics. I think so. I think if I was making money off it, maybe I wouldn't. Sorry, I'm sure that thinking of copyright stuff as a kid is not very exciting, but I'm just joking. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I think that's looking pretty good, I think. Batman has muscles, right? Okay. All right. So, all right. Can you see that okay? The pencil drawing? But you'll see that what it let me do is it let me be looser, and so I don't have to, like, you'll see some of these places I ended up kind of going over and going over, and so that's not really like a clean drawing, right? It doesn't look finished, okay? But that's okay, because now what I can do is I don't, like, if there's these places where the lines overlapped, all right, what I'll do is now I'm going to take, we'll try to do the big Sharpie so you can see it a little bit better, but once I have that drawn, and, you know, again, you can erase if you need to. I didn't, because I kind of wanted to do this quickly so we could fit it into the video. But you could erase, you could redraw, you can kind of get it how you need to get it. Don't forget, if you needed to use reference, like if I wanted to pull up a video, like a image, or print out an image of Batman, so that I could get it right, kind of like what we did in the third exercise with the bicycle. Like, that's when you would take all your research, all your planning and everything, and then you do this, all right? And so actually what I did is I just wanted to show you. So my journal comic was about me using a pressure washer, which doesn't sound very exciting. But what I did is I actually, just for time's sake, I went ahead and I drew out my journal comic. And so again, as a reminder, if you want to pencil, when you're penciling your drawing, if this is probably going to take you a while, because we kind of came up with, you know, these really kind of big ideas, or this big project. But if you're just joining us for this time, you don't have to come up with this big project. Really, I just want you to think of something to draw. Maybe if you want to draw Batwoman, Batperson, Batgirl, Batman, or anything you want, really. Again, the idea is to just draw something and practice drawing it with pencil, and then once it's penciled, and you can pause the video if you want, and then take your time to do the drawing, and then when you're ready, you can start it up again, all right? And so let's imagine that that's what happened, is put pause, you took your time, you came back, and you have your final pencil drawing, right? And then what you're going to do, and you'll actually notice here, so actually I had two, even when I was doing the pencils, I just wanted to show you that I did two drafts, where originally I was going to do it this size, but then I realized that I didn't have a lot of space for my drawings once I put the words in, so I decided to draw it bigger. And you'll notice that because this is the final version of it, I actually used like a T-square to get the panels really straight. And then I did the lettering. I had to do some erasing to go over this. And also, so even in the pencils, this ended up being a first draft. And then this ended up being a final draft. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink, maybe not all of this, but I'm going to ink a panel. And so inking is a little scary, because you're like, now it's going to be final. I can't mess up. But you can mess up, because there's going to be ways that you can fix it, okay? So I'm just going to ink for a little bit. Maybe I'll just ink the very top. I don't know if I'll do the whole panel, but I really like inking, and this is where my posture is going to be really bad. I'm sorry, because this is where I really like to get close to the work and zone out. I love putting music on, or podcasts, or audiobook when I'm inking. And maybe you will too. Maybe you'll like it. I think this is actually, inking is like my favorite part of making comics, because I've already done the hard work. The brainstorming is really hard. The drafts are really hard. The penciling can be a little hard. But when I go to inking, it's just sort of, I get to just meditate a little bit and ink. And then also when I'm inking, if there's a line that I noticed was off in the penciling, I can fix it with my inking. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to ink and talk at the same time. So I maybe won't ink the whole thing. I just want to ink maybe this top part. Actually, but that's not really exciting to ink, right? Because it's just lettering. So maybe I'll at least ink this lettering, And I'm going to ink the border. And so here's the thing is, even though I wrote those out with the, I drew those out with the T-square, the ruler, I'm not going to use the ruler because I kind of like having this wobbly organic line that's very natural. It kind of gives the drawing more of like a personal feel. But if you are making a comic and you want to use the ruler, the T-square, please do. Again, you want to make it how you want to make it, you know? So, all right. And so the last, I'm going to ink myself. Okay. So just hang with me. You can work while this video's on, and, you know, or if you just want to ink in quiet, you could ink on your own, pause it, or just let it go and just mute me. It won't hurt my feelings. I won't know. So just so you can see. I can't believe this is the 7th video. There's only one more after this. I'm gonna miss you guys. But, you know, it's kind of like having a class or summer workshop or something, or like camp, where, you know, you get to have a good time and it's fun meeting new people, but then you have to go home, and that's okay. All right, so okay, I'll stop there. But so you can see that I'm just going, it's real light, I'm going over this, I'm inking it. And so when I'm done inking, if I want, I can go over and then I can erase all the pencils, all right? And then what I could do is, if I wanted to color it in, I could use, you know, my watercolors, my crayons, my colored pencils. But just this idea of, you know, again, it's building up to this final. I think even if you were like a painter, a lot of times the painter will do an underdrawing. And then they might even do like the tones, like the grayscale tones, and then they might put the paint on top of that. In comics, it's penciling, inking, and then if you mess up or you need to correct something, like in my case, what I could do is I could take another sheet of paper and say I messed up a panel, or say I messed up the words on the top. I could put it over, I could trace it, I could rewrite it, and then I could cut it out and tape it down. And just to remember that it doesn't have to be perfect. There's so many ways you can fix it. And I think that's what I love about comics, is that it doesn't matter what it looks like, it just matters what it gets printed as. And so a lot of the times, I won't do this analog anymore. I'll scan this into the computer and I'll fix this all up digital. Even if I still draw by hand, I'll clean it up instead of having to get out whiteout or things like that. And so, but you can use traditionals like cutting and pasting to go over, whiteout, just redrawing the panel, and, you know, cutting and pasting that if you need to. If you just need to fix certain parts, you can cut and paste those out. But again, I just want to remind folks that, like, it is just, even if you're trying to do something that is finished and you want it to be perfect, there's a build up to it. And again, good work takes time and it takes practice. And so just don't forget that, okay? And so I think that's it for today. We have one more video left. Next week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be recycling drawings and ideas and kind of trying to look at them in different ways. So I hope you'll join us. And again, thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time. All right, be safe. Bye.